And we are live. Hi guys, you're welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Bola. Thank you so much for joining. I share content around immigration, life in the UK, because I'm a registered nurse currently living and working in the United Kingdom. So if you're just coming across this page for the first time, make sure you click the subscribe button down below and like this video. And by the time you are done, if you find this very helpful, I know some other people that might find it helpful as well, kindly do well to share with them. Thank you very much. Today, why am I here? If you follow me on Instagram, and if you don't, I recently passed my Nclex exam, which is like the qualifying exam you need to write to practice as a nurse in the United States. I know I have said before that I might not be leaving the UK, and I made a video on reasons why I won't be leaving the UK. Anyways, life happens continuously, and you just get to a point where you ask yourself questions, and from the indicators and everything around you, you just see that okay, maybe it's time to move on to the next thing, and you just make that decision. That's just story for another day. But I passed my Nclex exam, and I shared the story on Instagram. I shared the news on Instagram, and a lot of people have been asking me, oh, what did you do, how did you do it, and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, this information is like everywhere, or that's what I think. However, because I don't have the strength to answer one person, 2 people, 3 people continuously, I've decided to make it into a video so that I can just share that link to whoever wants to know. So to make it easy, I've decided to talk about it in steps. So if you want to know more about everything I need to say concerning this process, or if you need a breakdown, because sometimes people just relate well with videos because it feels like you are being tutored. And so if you feel like this is what you want and it's difficult for you to be reading a lot of resources, I got you. Okay. So I'm going to hold your hand through the process. I've broken it down in steps, and yeah, let's just dive right into it without wasting so much time. The first thing I'm going to say is, if you really want to do this Usrn thing, you must really be determined to do it, because it takes quite a while. It's not something that you can do in like 3-4 months like the UK process is. The Usrn thing can take like a year or more depending on the institution you use. So you must firstly decide and self-motivate yourself that I want to do this, I want to get this done, and once you decide that you want to get it done, then you can move on to the first thing you need to do is there are different bodies you can use. I'll start by putting that disclaimer out there, but personally for me, I used CGFNS, which was smooth. If I'm being sincere, I didn't have all the hiccups, all the delays, and all those things people complain about. I didn't have that with CGFNS. My process was smooth. The only thing that gave me headache was my institution. But for the CGFNS process itself, it was smooth. However, if you don't want to use CGFNS, you can also use yourself SAILNE. That's the other body that also evaluates your credentials for the Usrn route. And there's also another body that evaluates your credential, but this is not applicable if you have not worked in the UK. It is not applicable to you. It is called ERES. I'm going to put out the name on the screen board. I'm going to be talking about those bodies later in another video, so that this video won't be too long. For this video, we are concentrating on CGFNS. All right. So the first thing you need to do is you need to create an account with CGFNS. I'm going to put the link in the description box below, so you can click on that link to direct you to the CGFNS website where you can create accounts to start your process. So you create an account with CGFNS. They're going to ask you for your personal details, your name, your contact address, and all those things. They will ask you for all of those details. You fill it in. Then you fill in details about your institution. Once you fill that in, you're going to make payments. You make payments, I think at the moment is about $420. So you make payments, you can cover that to whatever amount you're spending in the country where you're watching from. Once you make payments, you'll be able to download some forms, which is like the forms that you need to send to your institution of education and your licensing body. So for me, I have studied in Nigeria. I have worked in Nigeria, then I moved into the UK, and I'm working in the UK. So I had to do a verification with my nursing body back in Nigeria. I did another verification with my nursing body here in the UK, and I had to evaluate my credentials. So I went to a nursing school before I moved on to a university. So I evaluated my School of Nursing credentials, and I also evaluated my BSc credentials. So if you're wondering oh, I've gone to a nursing school, I've done my BSc, do I need both? I'm going to tell you that it's better, wiser, and more advisable for you to evaluate both credentials, because for some reasons, even as a BSc nurse, you get to have upper chance when you get to the United States. So it's just wiser for you to evaluate both. So once you do that, once you download the form, you send it back to your school. So if you have contact with the school secretary, you can send it to them and now go through all those processes. And that is where majority of the delay comes in. So for my nursing school, it was very, very fast. I got it in like 2 weeks. Like CGFNS got it in 2 weeks. But for my university, you guys, I showed me Pepe. But thankfully, I had a colleague back at home. She had moved to the UK now, but when she was back at home, she was able to help me do all the errands and the running arounds and all of that. Toi, God bless you. So she did all of that for me, and I was able to get my transcripts sent to CGFNS from my university in about, I think it took like 6 months or so. Yeah, even though I had someone running it for me. So yeah, that was it. Then for the nursing body verification, you have to verify your license in Nigeria. Unfortunately, with all the drama going on at the moment, it might take you a longer time. It took me 2 months to get my verification sent to CGFNS, but now with the 6-month rule, it might take you a longer time, unfortunately. Then for the UK nursing body, it took like, I did it on Friday and it was acknowledged by CGFNS on a Tuesday. I didn't pay a dime for that, by the way. It was very fast, swift, and easy. So yeah, that was it. And once CGFNS receives all your application forms from your institution, you need to upload your secondary school certificate. So you get a scratch card and you upload the number on your WAEC scratch card onto the SSC section. Or if you have your WAEC results, you can upload it in the SSC section under the CGFNS portal. So once all of that goes through and everything has been ticked in green, then you move on to the next. So the next step is for you to now create an account with the nursing body that you want to use in the United States. So while you are filling your form on the CGFNS portal, it's going to ask you what state's board of nursing you have in mind. So US has different states now, so you have to now do your research and decide on the states you want to go with. For me, I chose Texas. Number one, Texas is like one of those places I've always eyed since I've had the plan of going to America. I had 2 options to either go to DC because I have my brother because my brother is in DC, or Texas because we have friends and family over there. So I chose Texas because 1, it's always been one of the states on my mind. 2, because the process for Texas is like the commonest, the easiest, and the most relatable one. So you can decide to do whatever that suits you. You can do New Mexico. You can do what's the name? I had a friend that used Colorado. I had a friend that used Chicago. So whatever state you want to go to in the United States, and that's where your personal research comes in, where you have to research about the states, the crime in that state, the gun laws, the cost of living, the hospitals that are available. Like, it all depends on what you want, the kind of career you want. Are you planning to progress in your career? Is there a particular specialty you are looking at? Is there an hospital that is known for brain surgery and you're really interested in neurosurgery? You know, a lot of factor comes into play. So I'm not going to say that I use this state. I'm just telling you, I used this state for so and so reason, you know. So yeah, you go, once all your verification and everything comes through on the CGFNS portal and they take it as green, and you are issued your CES report. So your CES report is the report that states that they've evaluated your credentials, they've seen that it is legit, it is valid, it is acceptable. So now you now go ahead to create an account with that CES report number on the state board of nursing you have selected. So for me, I selected Texas and I created an account on the Texas board of nursing website. So once you get to the Board of Nursing website, you click on apply for license. Once you click the apply for license, it's going to bring you a list of forms to fill. You complete that application, you fill the form with all the details that is being asked of you. If you want me to make a video on how to fill those forms and complete those applications, let me know in the comments and I'll just do that in a different video. All right, once you complete the form, you now make a payment. At the moment, it's cost about $75 at the moment, so you can convert that to whatever fee you are spending in the country you're watching me from. So you pay $75. Once you pay $75, then your application goes through another form of evaluation by the Texas Board of Nursing. Your T-bond processing has gone through. The next thing you need to do is your Jurisprudence exam. So this is applicable to T-bond now. When I say T-bond, I mean Texas Board of Nursing. So Jurisprudence exam is applicable to Texas Board of Nursing because it is not all Board of Nursing that does Jurisprudence exam. So the Jurisprudence exam is an open book exam, and what that means is you would be having access to reading about everything that is expected of you at the exam before you actually write that exam. So there are some materials and some videos you can watch and you can go through to learn about. Mostly is about the policy, the nursing policy, the Nurse Practice Act, the governing policy around how nursing is being practiced in Texas. That's what it is mostly about. So you can do all of the reading and the studying and the videos, watch it just before your exam so that you can have knowledge and idea of what you're going to answer. You register for the Jurisprudence exam, you write it, and once you pass, that's it. You can start doing your police checks and clearance. And when I say police checks and clearance, that's where the fingerprint thing comes in. So you do your fingerprint, and what you basically need to do is just to do a print of all your fingers, both left and right. So you can purchase that form on Amazon. I'm going to put the link in the description box where you can purchase the form from. So you purchase a form from Amazon, then you can watch a YouTube video. I'm going to put a link of the video you can watch as well on how to fill that form. You watch a YouTube video to fill that form. So you buy your form from Amazon, you buy the print pad, that pad where you put your finger on to, take the ink for the print. You put it on, you buy it from Amazon. I think everything costs about £10 or £15. And if you're in Nigeria, there are some set of people that I know they sell it in Nigeria. I can, give you their contact. Just send me a personal DM on my Instagram page, The Immigrant Nurse. Send me a personal DM and I'll give you contact of people you can purchase that from if you're watching me from Nigeria. However, if you're in UK or anywhere else where you have access to Amazon, you can get the form from Amazon. You can get the thumb pad. You get what I'm saying? You can get it as well from Amazon. I think everything costs about £15 in total. That would be an exaggeration, but yeah, let me just say £15 in total for you to get that. So once you get it, you fill the form, and when you're filling the form, I'll say that it's better for you to buy like 2 or 3 forms or 5. I bought 5 forms because it's just better to be safe than sorry. So if you made a mistake on the first form, you will have a spare form to fill. And in some cases, there has been issues where people did not fill the form well and they had to ask them for another form. So what I'm going to say is buy like 5 of those forms. Once you buy it, if you make a mistake with one, fill the remaining 4 accurately. Try and fill it very accurately and send the 4 to them. Out of the 4, they will be able to pick one that is best. All right, instead of you having them to ask you to send it again and again and again, it's cheaper for you to send 4 forms than to be sending individually over and over and over again. So fill those forms. You have to be very, very careful when you're filling the form because the date format in US is different from the date format we use here in UK and that is being used in Nigeria. So you have to really pay attention to details because I think for US, you start with writing the year, then the month, then the day. So just make sure you read carefully and you pay attention to the finest details while you are filling the form. So fill the form, send all the forms, 4 of those forms or more, back to Togo office. So once you get the form, I'm going to be leaving the details for your Togo thing I'll leave it in the description box below. So for the FBI fingerprint identical bit, it costs about $38 at the moment. It costs about $38. That's how much you'll be spending to get all of that done. It's time to move on to the big deal. So once you pass your jurisprudence exam and you pass your identical checks, that means you're ready for your Nclex. Like, it's that straightforward. From the moment you pass your jurisprudence exam, I would say that give yourself 6 months to write your Nclex. Yeah. Because once you register for Nclex, you have like 75 days at the moment. You have 75 days to write your Nclex exam. If you don't write it within 75 days, you are going to forfeit that registration for the Nclex. You're going to pay another money, go through a lot of long process before you are able to write Nclex again. So once you've passed your jurisprudence exam, your CES report has been issued, you've passed your identical, your identical checks. Now it's time to, take your Nclex preparation very, very seriously. However, I'm going to say that it's better for you to start reading for Nclex before all of this process goes through. Once your CS report has been issued by CGFNS and you are already writing the jurisprudence exam, you should start reading for Nclex gradually. However, depending on your strength, if you're the type of person that needs to read over and over and over again for you to master it, start reading from the moment you start preparing for the whole process. But if you know that you are good to go with just reading once and it sticks and you are a few way, you can start after you've gotten your CES report and you've passed your jurisprudence. So now let's bring it to registering for Nclex, because it's not just that straightforward. There are quite a step or some steps to how you can register for your Nclex. So to register for your Nclex, the first thing you need to do is you need to create an account with Pearson VUE, because Pearson VUE is that body that organizes Nclex exam in countries that is not US. I don't know what it's like in the US if you're writing Nclex, but in an area like UK, Africa, and all those places, Pearson VUE is the body, like the company that organizes how you write your Nclex exam. So you need to, once you have all your CS report, jurisprudence, Texas Board of Nursing, and everything, blah, 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 is been done, you move on to creating an account with Pearson VUE. So when you're creating your account with Pearson VUE, after your checks has been done, I mean your identical and your jurisprudence has been, sorted, you're going to get an email from Texas Board of Nursing that you can progress with your application. So once you create an account with Pearson VUE, you need to enter your details. Once you enter that, you make your payments. You pay on Pearson VUE website for your registration, and this payment costs about $150 if I'm not mistaken. So once you make your payment, then you have to wait like 15 to 14 days for them to issue your authorization to test. See guys, from the moment your authorization to test has been issued, you have 75 days to write your Nclex exam. All right, if you don't write it in 75 days, you're going to have to start the process all over again. And I mean, start your registration for the Nclex exam all over again. So it's just better that you wait until you are really, really sure and ready to write that exam, and you know that you can nail the exam in 75 days before you go ahead to register with Pearson VUE. Once your ATT has been issued, you now go and activate that on NSCBN website. So on the NSCBN website is where you book to write your exam. When I was booking to write my exam, there was actually no dates available. I had to be checking every single day to get a date to write my exam. So depending on the location where you're writing the Nclex exam from, it can cost between $200 to $300. It's going to give you the list of the centers that is closest to your environment, because it's going to require your residential address. So once you put your residential addresses in, it's going to bring out all the centers that is closest to your environment. So for me, I picked one of the centers that was closest to my area, and I selected the date that was most convenient based on the work rota I had. Now, let me mention this. You must make up your mind and decide that you are ready to write that exam, and you know when you want to write the exam. Because once you select a date for your exam, changing it can be stressful. And what I mean by it can be stressful is that you cannot do a change of exam date automatically by yourself. If you want to change your exam date, you have to, chat up and you have to chat up a Pearson VUE representative or send them an email that you want to change the date of your exam. And with the current situation on ground now, it's very, very scarce to get exam dates. So you might not be able to get a different date for your exam. Thankfully for me, I booked the farthest date. I think my ATT will be expiring on the 22nd, and I booked my exam for 17th. Like, I gave myself a long time allowance. So if you are booking, I would say that you should give yourself a long time allowance. Don't book your exam 2 weeks after your registration. What if you suddenly realize that, oh, you're not ready and you need to extend your date? It might not be easy for you to get that date extension, because I even wanted to bring my dates forward when I felt I was ready to write the exam, and the representative I chatted up said that there was no date available. So I just had to stick with that date that I had chosen. So if in your case you chose an earlier date and you realize that, oh, you're still not ready, then if you're not able to, extend or postpone the exam, then you get stuck and God forbid you fail. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to advise. So once you get a date and you book, start reading rigorously. Now I'm going to make another video on how best to prepare for your Nclex exam, the materials to use, the strategies to use, and everything, because it's not about reading a lot. I can tell you for a fact, I prepared for this exam while working and while taking care of 2 toddlers. So it is not about reading everything. It is not about exposing yourself to too much information, because one thing I realized on this Usrn pathway is there are a lot of information out there. Oh my god. And because of the kind of fear that has been implanted into people that Nclex is hard, trust me, like, I fell victim for that fear as well. Like, Nclex is hard, Nclex is difficult, Nclex is this, Nclex is that. It's difficult for people to actually concentrate and focus on, this is what I need to do to pass this exam. So I'm going to give you strategies and easy method on how you can actually nail the exam, especially if you're a busy mom like myself who is working, has 2 toddlers, has no help, and is living in the UK. That is a lot. Take it from me, it is a lot. So I'm going to be giving you that hack in a different video, but for today, back to the gist. So once you register and you have a date, just get yourself ready and you're good to write your examination. And I'm wishing you all the best, good success in your exam. So once you write your exam, that's it. You have like 48 hours after the exam to get an unofficial result from the Pearson VUE website to tell you if you have failed or if you have passed. Okay. I made a video just after I passed my Nclex to address that trick, Pearson VUE trick and everything. If it's still working, if it's not working, if you want to check that video, it's just in the description box, so you might want to click the link for that as well. All right, so I'm going to be ending this video here. It's getting too longer than I expect it to be. If you have any questions, please drop them for me in the comment section and I will answer them gladly. And if you feel that this video is still not enough, you need a personal relationship and chat with me so that we can talk about this Nclex route, send me a DM on Instagram via the Immigrant Nurse page and we can have detailed conversation around the whole thing. Okay, if you have any other question that I've not addressed, or you have concerns, or you want me to create a video around other content related to the Usrn pathway, let me know in the comments and I will bring them to you. Okay, thank you so much for watching. If you watch up till this point, you're the real G. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I appreciate you. I'll see you in my next video. Till then, stay safe and stay blessed. Bye.